about 4 years ago, about 50 Northside leaders came together and we heard about the Harlem Children's Zone, and the question got asked, could you do that here? Because we were hearing about their outstanding outcomes, 900 students in college now from a community that had what we would call uneducable, unteachable children. And we looked at each other and said, our outcomes right now individually are not changing our entire community. Maybe if we did it together, it would. And so we looked at things like that. In the zone, on the north side, we had over a 70% poverty rate, that many of our children were being raised in single family households with only one income, not two, that we had a 25% high mobility rate. Many of our juveniles were being adjudicated in the juvenile justice system. We had concentrations of violence, concentrations of sex offenders, prostitution. I could go on. And I think we all concluded that together, we could really make a difference by creating one system of support in this community, with the goal, with our purpose being that we would end multi-generational poverty in our lifetime using education as a lever. And our mission is to create a culture of achievement in this geographic zone where all children graduate high school college ready. The most exciting thing about the zone are families and community partners. So the zone is basically a 255 blocks that have the worst outcomes for families and children on the north side. 2,200 families, 5,000 children. And we are within the zone dismantling this cradle to prison or cradle to grave pipeline that absolutely exists in our midst, and we are putting together a pipeline of support from womb to work, cradle to college. And the way we're doing that is we have 27 anchor partners and we have 9 anchor schools that we're working with. And all together we have become e pluribus unum, out of many one. We are creating one system of support for families on the north side. And right now we have a few hundred families. Our goal by the end of 2013 is to have 500, and by the end of 2014 to have 1,200 families, about 3,000 children. And so with 3 pillars of support for all of the families across all of these partners, this e pluribus unum. The first is family engagement. Everything starts and stops with the families, and our families are our partners. We're not their service providers or the social service providers. We're not their saviors. We're partners, and that was our value proposition. Would you like your child to go to college? And if so, could you use some help in making that happen? And the families overwhelmingly said yes, we would. And so the first thing they get is a family coach to partner with them. We call them NAZ connectors. And the NAZ connectors follow the family no matter where they go in the system of support that I just described. And that system of support is based on the education pipeline as well as whole family support. And so with the education pipeline, we have partners that are in early childhood, and they have formed an action team prioritizing our NAZ children and families, our K through 12 system, and again 9 public district, public charter, parochial, and contract alternative schools all together. Then our mentoring organizations, out of school time, high school, out of school time as well, and then our college success team. That makes up our education pipeline. And then our whole family support is around housing, making sure families are stabilized, career financial pathways to make sure they're on the path to a career, not just a job, and behavioral mental health. And what I keep saying is we're riding the bike and building it at the same time. But we are really, in essence, creating a cocoon for families on the north side, where our goal is to change everything about a child's life all at once, and the children who need it most. And we are data driven. We have high expectations with high supports. And again, the families are our partners, and they're really leading the way. Another exciting thing about our high touch process is, whereas the families have a family coach in our NAZ connectors, each of our scholars has a scholar coach, which are our academic navigators. And they work directly with each scholar to make sure they have what they need from school, their teachers, their parents, their connector, to be at grade level and on a trajectory to college. We're using one web-based tool called NAZ Connect, which is a way for us to talk to each other in this virtual village around the family's achievement plan. And it's where all of our data is housed. It's how we'll do all of our longitudinal studies and really hold ourselves accountable for real-time outcomes. And if we're not getting those outcomes, then we change what we're doing so that we do. And we are really banking on the fact that with the right support from the community, when the village really shows up, that we won't just change the lives of the children in our pipeline of success, but we'll have population level results, which we believe are revolutionary.